You have two fathers, one highly educated, PhD, government job, good salary, but always stressed about money, bills, loans. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people are greedy. The other father, eighth grade dropout, but a millionaire. Multiple businesses, real estate empire. Money is power. Money is freedom. Both teaching you complete opposites. One says, get a good job, stay secure. The other says, build your own business, buy assets. Who will you listen to? Because this decision will determine whether you become rich or poor. This is Robert Kiyosaki's real-life story. Two fathers, two philosophies, one choice. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly those lessons that Rich Dad taught, which are never taught in school, but which actually make you financially free. Welcome to Story Reads, where we talk about books that aren't just for reading, but for living. Today's book is Robert T. Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, celebrating 25 years as the #1 personal finance book of all time. This book tells those secrets that rich people teach their kids, but poor and middle-class families don't teach. And today, I'll share every lesson, every principle, every story, exactly as Robert wrote it, so you too can learn that financial wisdom that can change your entire life. First, let's understand, what does dopamine? Wait, wrong script. Let me start over. First, let's understand, who were these two fathers? Robert Kiyosaki's childhood was unique. He had two father figures. One was his real dad, whom Robert calls Poor Dad, highly educated man, PhD in education, Hawaii's superintendent of education, government's top position, respectable, hardworking, but financially struggling, always stressed about bills, always worried about money. By retirement, not much savings. The other was Mike's dad, Robert's best friend Mike's father, whom Robert calls Rich Dad. Studied only till 8th grade, then dropped out of school, but eventually became one of Hawaii's richest people. Restaurants, hotels, real estate, businesses, multiple income streams, and most importantly, financial freedom. Both fathers were strong men, hard-working, intelligent, but their thinking about money was completely opposite. Poor Dad used to say, the love of money is evil. Rich Dad used to say, the root of poverty is lack of money. Poor Dad used to say, I can't become rich. Rich Dad used to say, I'm rich and I'm getting richer. Poor Dad used to say, study well so you get a good job in a good company. Rich Dad used to say, study well so you can buy a good company. Imagine if you're 9 years old and hearing two different philosophies, who would you follow? Robert faced this dilemma. On one side, educated, respectable poor dad. On the other side, street-smart, successful rich dad. And Robert made a decision. He chose to follow Rich Dad's teachings, not because he loved his real dad any less, but because he was seeing results. Poor Dad had a degree, but financial struggle. Rich Dad had no formal education, but financial success. Now Robert's real financial education begins. At 9 years old, when most kids are thinking about toys, Robert was thinking, how do I become rich? One day, Robert and his best friend Mike were sitting, frustrated because their classmates had new baseball gloves, new toys. But Robert and Mike didn't have money for these things. So they decided, we'll make money. But how? They remembered that their science teacher taught them that toothpaste tubes contained lead, and they'd read in books that coins were made from lead. So a brilliant idea came. We'll make our own coins. They collected used toothpaste tubes from the neighborhood, melted them, poured into plaster molds, and made nickels. Counterfeit nickels. When Poor Dad found out, he was shocked. You're doing illegal work. This is counterfeiting. But at the same time, he was proud. At least you're thinking. He suggested, talk to Mike's dad. He's a businessman. Maybe he can help. So Robert and Mike went to Rich Dad. We want to become rich. Teach us. Rich Dad smiled. Okay, I'll teach you, but my way. I won't seat you in a classroom. I'll hire you to work. And he hired both boys. Salary? 10 cents per hour. Work? Saturday mornings, 3 hours in Rich Dad's grocery store. Dusting, stocking, cleaning. On the first Saturday, Robert was excited. I'm working. I'm earning money. 3 hours, hard work, and received 30 cents. A week later, another 30 cents. Second week, third week, and now the excitement was ending. Only 30 cents after so much hard work? My friends are playing baseball, and I'm dusting here for 30 cents. After the third Saturday, Robert's patience ran out. He went to Poor Dad, complained. Rich Dad is exploiting me. Child labor. I'm quitting. Poor Dad listened and said, okay, son, if you think it's unfair, then quit. But first, talk to Rich Dad yourself, face to face. Next Saturday, Robert arrived, but not to work, to confront. I want to talk to you right now. I quit. Rich Dad was busy. Wait. Robert waited. An hour, frustrated. Finally, Rich Dad was free. So, what's up? Robert let out all his frustration. You're exploiting me. 10 cents per hour? This is unfair. I'm becoming a slave. I'm quitting. Rich Dad calmly smiled. Good. Good? What do you mean? Good that you're angry. Good that you've realized this isn't enough, because now you're ready to learn the real lesson. Robert was confused. What lesson? Rich Dad explained. Look, when you came, you said, I want to become rich. Teach me. So I put you in the exact situation that most people in the world stay trapped in their entire lives. Working for money, hard work, low payment, and thinking that just work a little more, get a little more money, get a promotion, get a raise, and everything will be fine. But it never happens. Because when more money comes, expenses also increase. Bigger house, bigger car, more bills, more loans, and you're back in the same trap. Working harder, earning more, spending more, repeat. This is most people's life. Now look, when I hired you for 10 cents per hour, what did you feel? Initially, excitement, then frustration, then anger. Exactly what most employees feel. They work hard, get small paychecks, and keep thinking, if I just get a raise, everything will be okay. But the raise comes, lifestyle inflates, and they're back to struggling. This is the rat race I wanted you to experience, so you'd understand this path doesn't lead to wealth. Robert asked, so what's the solution? Rich Dad said, the solution is don't work for money, make money work for you. This was the first major lesson. And for 9-year-old Robert, this was completely mind-blowing. Don't work for money? But everyone works for money. We need money to survive. How can we not work for money? Rich Dad explained, yes, money is needed. But the question is, are you working for money or is money working for you? Poor people and middle class, they work for money every month. Salary, paycheck, and from that paycheck, bills get paid, expenses, loans, groceries, rent, nothing's left. If anything's left, very little, savings account, minimal interest. But rich people, they work for assets, assets that generate income, rental properties, businesses, stocks, bonds, royalties. These assets work every day, every month, generating income, whether you're sleeping, whether you're on vacation.
Income keeps coming. This is making money work for you. Robert was starting to understand this concept, but not completely yet. So Rich Dad made it simpler. Have you played Monopoly? Yes. So what do you do in the game? Buy properties, build houses, build hotels. Why? So when someone lands on it, I get rent. Exactly. Rent means passive income. You don't have to do anything. Just own the property and income is coming. This is the goal in real life too. Build assets that generate income automatically, continuously. Now Robert was a bit clearer, but the question was, okay, I understand, but I'm only 9 years old right now. How will I buy properties? How will I build businesses? Rich Dad said, good question. That's why I hired you to work, so you'd experience how most people live, working for money. Now the next lesson is you need to learn how to make money without money, using creativity, using your mind. And here began Robert and Mike's real entrepreneurial journey. Rich Dad said, don't work in the grocery store now. Just observe. See what opportunities there are, what things are being wasted, what things are underutilized, and think about how you can create value without spending money. Robert and Mike observed the grocery store for weeks, and one day they saw it. Comic books. Every week, comic book deliveries came to the grocery store. People would buy them, read them, and then sell them to the junk dealer. Store workers would also throw away leftover comics or give them to the junk dealer. Waste.
Robert and Mike got an idea. Can we use these comics? They asked the store manager for permission. Sir, the comics you're going to throw away, can we take them? The manager asked, why? What will you do? We have a project. Want to try? Okay, but only those comics with torn covers, unsellable ones. Permission granted. Now what was the plan? Robert and Mike converted Mike's basement into a small library, comic book library. Put up shelves, arranged comics by series, by superhero, organized, and then spread the word among their classmates. Comic book library is open. Read as much as you want. Just here, in this room. Can't take them outside. And the charge? 10 cents per person. Unlimited reading, 2 hours. They hired Mike's sister as librarian. Salary? $1 per week. Her job, keep the library open every day after school. 2-3 hours. Give entry to kids, manage comics, maintain order. Robert and Mike, they'd only check on weekends, add new comics, but daily operations, Mike's sister. And the business took off. Every day an average of 10 kids came. 10 cents each means $1 daily. 7 days, $7 per week, minus $1 for Mike's sister's salary. Net profit, $6 per week. Robert and Mike each got $3 without daily work, without investment, just from creativity, from an idea. This ran for 3 months. Good, smooth. But then kids started getting bored. Same comics, repeat, so interest decreased. Business slowed down. Robert and Mike decided to shut it down. But they'd achieved what Rich Dad wanted. Experience. First business, without capital, using creativity, assets, comics that others were wasting, convert into income stream, and most importantly, making money work for them because they themselves weren't working daily. Mike's sister was. The beginning of passive income. Rich Dad was very happy. Excellent, you've understood the first lesson. Now let's move forward. And now deeper financial education began. Robert was reaching teenage years,
And Rich Dad started the second major lesson. Learn financial literacy. Understand how money works. Rich Dad explained, "Look, in school you're taught many things, math, science, history, but about money? Nothing. Because teachers themselves don't know. They're employees living on salary. They don't know about assets, don't know about cash flow, don't know about financial statements. So how will they teach you?" That's why, Rich Dad continued, most people struggle financially, even after high education, even after good jobs, because they don't have financial literacy. They don't understand the difference between asset and liability. They don't understand cash flow. They don't understand that rich people think differently. Robert asked, "So what's the difference between asset and liability?" Rich Dad gave a very simple definition, and this definition changes the entire perspective. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. That's it. This simple.
But, Robert said, most people consider their home an asset, consider their car an asset. Rich Dad smiled. Exactly. That's the problem. People think their house is an asset, but actually, it's a liability. How? Look, you buy a house, take a loan. Every month, EMI goes, property tax goes, maintenance happens, repairs happen, insurance premium goes. Means every month, money is going out of your pocket. So this is a liability, right? It would be an asset if the house gave you money in the form of rent. But the house you live in, it doesn't give you money, it takes money from you. This concept was revolutionary for Robert. But people say house value increases, appreciation happens. Rich Dad said, yes, maybe it increases, maybe it doesn't, but until you sell, that value is only on paper. And if the market crashes, that value can also disappear. But your EMI, it'll continue. Your taxes, they'll continue. Maintenance, it'll continue. So it's definitely a liability. Now look at a real asset. Suppose you bought a small apartment, investment property, rented it out. The tenant pays $10,000 rent every month. Suppose your EMI is $8,000. Property tax and maintenance is $1,000. Total $9,000 expenses. Income $10,000. Net positive cash flow 1,000 rupees. This is an asset because it's putting money in your pocket every month. Robert was now getting clearer. So basically, rich people buy assets. Poor people buy liabilities thinking they're assets. Exactly. Rich Dad was happy. Now you're understanding. Middle class's biggest problem is this. They invest their entire lives in liabilities. Big house, fancy car, latest gadgets, and think all this is assets, status symbols. But financially, all this is liabilities that keep draining cash. What do rich people do? They first buy assets, properties that generate rent, businesses that give profit, stocks that give dividends, bonds that give interest. And when these assets generate enough income, then they buy luxuries. But those luxuries are also from the assets' income, not from their salary. Rich Dad explained with a diagram. Look, a poor man's cash flow pattern. Salary comes in the income column, and immediately all of it goes into expenses. Rent, food, bills, transport. Nothing's left. Zero savings, zero assets. Every month, same cycle. Middle class's pattern? Salary comes. A bit more. But expenses are also more. Bigger house, car loan, credit cards, personal loans, home EMI, kids' fees.
And the biggest trap, they think they have assets, own house, car, but actually, all this is liabilities, draining cash every month. So income is more than a poor person, but savings still low because liabilities are more. And rich people? Their income comes, but they don't immediately put it in liabilities. They buy assets, rental properties, business investments, stocks, mutual funds. These assets generate additional income, passive income, and this passive income gets invested again in more assets. So assets keep growing, income keeps growing, and eventually, passive income becomes so much that there's no need for a job. This is financial freedom.
Imagine you're 25 years old and your salary is $30,000 a month. What will you do? Rent a bigger house, take a bike on EMI, or stay in a smaller house first and save for assets? Robert was thinking deep, because all this was completely opposite to his school education. School taught, get a good job, stay secure, increase salary. But Rich Dad was teaching, build assets, create passive income, achieve financial independence. Rich Dad shared one more important point. Look, Robert, why do most people struggle financially? Because they're controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. Fear? Greed? Yes, fear that there won't be money, bills won't get paid, job will be lost. So people play it safe, want a secure job, don't take risks, don't invest, don't start businesses, because they're scared. And greed? When salary increases, they think, now I can buy this. Bigger house, better car, foreign trip, branded clothes. So expenses increase, lifestyle inflation happens, and then the same cycle again. Higher income, higher expenses, no savings. So what's the solution? Robert asked. The solution is recognize these emotions, accept that there's fear, there's greed, but don't be controlled by them. Use your brain, think rationally, keep a long-term perspective. When you're scared, analyze. What's the real risk? Is it manageable? Can you get educated? Can you get mentorship? Can you start small? Find ways to overcome fear, but don't miss opportunities because of fear. And greed? When you feel like buying something, stop, pause, ask, is this an asset or liability? Is this aligned with my financial goals? Can I afford it, or is it just an emotional purchase? Make smart choices. Practice delayed gratification. Now Rich Dad introduced one more powerful concept. Pay yourself first. Robert got confused. Meaning? Meaning, when salary comes, first pay yourself. Invest in assets, save, pay others later. But bills have to be paid, right? Yes, but what do most people do? Salary came, first paid all bills. Rent, groceries, loans, EMIs, utilities. What's left? Save that. But usually nothing's left, or very little is left. I'm saying do the opposite. Salary came, first 10%, whatever it is, save it. Transfer to investment account. Put in mutual fund. Put in recurring deposit. Buy assets. This is non-negotiable. First, pay yourself. Manage bills from the remaining 90%. But what if bills don't get managed from 90%? Rich Dad smiled. Then you'll have to be creative. You'll have to arrange extra income, side hustle, freelancing, something. And this pressure is a good thing because it forces you to grow, develop skills, find opportunities. But if you pay bills first and think about saving later, you'll never save because you'll settle into a comfort zone. Salary came, expenses happened, nothing's left. It's okay, we'll see next month. And that next month never comes. Robert understood this logic. So basically, we're making ourselves a priority, our financial future. Exactly. And this is what rich people do. They first build assets. Everything else is secondary. Now Robert was going from teenage to young adult, going to college, but Rich Dad's teachings continued. One day, Rich Dad called him. "Robert, now you're mature. You can understand deeper concepts. Today, I'll tell you how rich people actually become so rich and why poor people stay poor."
Rich Dad made a diagram, 4 quadrants, E, S, B, I. This is the cash flow quadrant. E means employee. S means self-employed or small business. B means big business owner. I means investor. Every person is in one of these 4 quadrants, and which quadrant you're in decides your financial reality. E, employee, job workers. Most people are here. They give their time, give their effort. In return, they get salary, feel secure, predictable income, but limited because there are only 24 hours in a day and you can only work that much. So there's an income ceiling. And the biggest problem, if you don't work, no income. Got sick? Salary stopped. Retired? Salary stopped. S, self-employed. Doctors, lawyers, consultants, freelancers, small business owners who run the business themselves. A bit better than employees because they're their own boss, but still, if you don't work, no income. Actually have to work more than employees because now all responsibility is yours. You're a doctor, didn't see patients, no income. You're a lawyer, didn't take cases, no income. You're a freelancer, didn't take projects, no income. Income depends on your active involvement. Now we come to the other side. B, big business owner. Here you build a system, build a team, build a process, and then that system works. Even if you're not physically present, the business runs because everything is systematic. The owner of McDonald's doesn't have to make burgers every day. A system is built, franchise model, process documented, training, quality control, and business keeps running. Passive income. I, investor. Here your money works, not you. Stocks, real estate, business investments, bonds, mutual funds, rental properties, royalties, dividends, interest, capital gains. Income gets generated without active work. You're sleeping, income is coming. On vacation, income is coming. This is ultimate financial freedom. Have you ever thought about which quadrant you're in? And is this the quadrant you want to stay in? Rich Dad continued, "Now understand, in E and S quadrants, you're trading time for money, limited income potential, high tax, no leverage. But in B and I quadrants, unlimited income potential, tax advantages, leverage, passive income, scalability." Poor Dad always used to say, get a good job, stay secure. E quadrant, middle class mentality. But Rich Dad used to say, build a business, invest. B and I quadrants, rich mentality. And this is the fundamental difference in rich and poor thinking. Robert asked, "So are you saying doing a job is wrong?" No, not exactly. Look, everyone has to start somewhere. Start with a job, okay. Learn skills, gain experience, build network, save money. But the mindset should be that this is temporary. The goal should be to eventually move to B or I quadrant, build assets, create passive income streams. The problem happens when people get comfortable, settle down, keep doing the job their whole life till retirement, and then realize savings are low, pension is low, medical expenses are increasing, and the struggle continues. Rich Dad taught Robert one more critical lesson. "Robert, now I'm going to tell you how taxes work, and understanding this is very important because this is a major difference between the rich and middle class." Robert was attentive because taxes were never taught in detail in school. "Look," Rich Dad explained, "when you're an employee, tax gets deducted from your salary first. The government takes its share first. Then what's left, you get.
From that, you pay expenses, pay bills. What's left, if anything's left, that's savings. This is an employee's tax pattern. Earn, tax, spend, save. But for business owners, completely opposite. They earn, they spend on business expenses, equipment, office, travel, meetings, marketing, all business expenses. Then whatever profit is left, tax is on that. So the pattern is earn, spend, tax. More savings, less tax. This is legal, legitimate. The government also wants people to do business, create jobs, grow the economy. So it gives tax benefits. Robert asked, so does that mean rich people don't pay taxes? No, absolutely not. Rich people pay taxes, but they understand tax laws, do tax planning, use legal ways to minimize, whereas employees don't have such options. Straight tax gets cut from their salary. No deductions, no planning, maximum tax rate. This is why middle class pays the most tax. They don't have business owners' tax benefits, don't have investors' capital gains advantages, straight income tax in the highest bracket. And then whatever they buy has GST, property tax, road tax, tax everywhere. So real income becomes quite low. Imagine, you're earning 10 lakhs annually. How much tax will go? And if you earn that same 10 lakhs through a business, how much will you save? Understanding this difference is very important. This teaching from Rich Dad was eye-opening for Robert. So basically, people who aren't financially educated, they pay maximum tax. And those who are educated, they legally optimize tax. Exactly. And this isn't unfair. This is smart. Tax laws are publicly available. Anyone can read them, understand them, use them. But most people don't make the effort, don't get financial education, and then complain that the system is unfair. Now, Rich Dad shifted the topic. Real estate. Robert, now I'm going to tell you my favorite investment, real estate, and why it's such a powerful wealth-building tool. Robert was excited because he'd seen Rich Dad's multiple properties, hotels, restaurants, rental buildings, all successful. First thing, Rich Dad said, real estate is tangible. You can see it, touch it. It's a physical asset. In the stock market, you buy paper. Here, you buy actual property. Second thing, real estate appreciates long-term. Values increase. Third thing, rental income, passive income, every month, consistent. Fourth thing, tax benefits, depreciation, interest deduction, property tax deduction, multiple benefits.
And the most powerful, leverage. Suppose you have 1 lakh. If you invest in the stock market, you'll buy 1 lakh worth of stocks. But in real estate, you give 1 lakh as down payment, take a 4 lakh loan from the bank and buy a 5 lakh property. This is leverage. You're controlling 5 lakhs with 1 lakh. And when the property appreciates, you get appreciation on the full 5 lakhs, not just 1 lakh. This is the power of leverage. Robert found this concept fascinating. But the loan has to be repaid, right? EMI? Absolutely. But who will pay that EMI? Your tenant from rent. Look how I do it. Suppose I bought a property for 10 lakhs. Down payment 2 lakhs. Loan 8 lakhs. EMI comes to 17,000 monthly. I rent it out for 20,000. From rent, EMI is cleared 17,000. Property tax and maintenance 2,000. Total 19,000. Income 20,000. Net positive cash flow 1,000 rupees. Now see the magic. The tenant is paying the loan, not me. And when the loan is complete, 20 years later, the property will be fully mine, fully paid. At that time, what will be the property's value? maybe 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, appreciation. And all that was paid by the tenant. I only gave the down payment of 2 lakhs and managed the property. Everything else, the tenant. Plus, during those 20 years, positive cash flow every month. 1,000 monthly means 12,000 yearly. In 20 years, 2,24,000 plus property value 30 lakhs. Total return more than 33 lakhs on a 2 lakh investment. This is the power of real estate. Have you ever calculated that if instead of living in rent, you buy a small property and rent it out, what could it become in 20 years? Wheels were turning in Robert's mind. So basically you're saying, before buying your own house, buy investment properties. Exactly. This is what most people do backwards. They first want to buy their dream house. Take a big loan, their whole life goes into paying that loan. But the smart approach is first buy investment properties, small, affordable, that give positive cash flow. When you have enough properties, enough passive income, then buy your dream house, and that too from the investments income. Rich Dad gave his personal example. I bought my first house when I had 3 rental properties, and those 3 properties combined cash flow was enough that my house's entire EMI would get covered, meaning my house was technically free for me because my tenants were paying from my property's rent. This story was inspiring for Robert. So this is possible, realistically. Absolutely. Just the approach needs to be right and patience is needed. Delayed gratification instead of instant gratification. Sacrifice a bit now, live in a smaller house, spend less, build assets, and then live comfortably. Other people do the opposite. Take luxury now on loan and then struggle their whole life to pay it off.
Now, Rich Dad shared one more important concept. Robert, do you know what's most important in wealth building? Time, compound interest. Einstein said compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, and it's true. Rich Dad gave an example. Suppose there are 2 people, person A and person B. Person A starts investing at age 25, 5,000 every month, total 60,000 annually for 10 years, then stops. Total investment 6 lakhs. Person B starts at age 35, same 5,000 monthly, but continues for 30 years. Total investment 18 lakhs. Now suppose the return is 12% annually till age 65. Person A's corpus approximately 1 crore 40 lakhs. Person B's approximately 1 crore 10 lakhs. Meaning person A invested less, 6 lakhs. Person B invested more, 18 lakhs. Still, person A has more corpus. Why? Compound interest. Time. Started early. This is the power of starting early. Robert was shocked. Meaning the earlier you start, the better? Absolutely. Time is your biggest asset when you're young. Use it. Start investing. Even if small, but start, because compound interest needs time to show magic. Imagine you're 25 years old today. If you start today versus 5 years later, what will be the difference 40 years later? In crores. This understanding is important. Now, Rich Dad discussed Robert's favorite topic, business. Robert, I told you about the cash flow quadrant, ESBI. Now I'll tell you in detail about the B quadrant, because this is where real wealth creation happens. When you build a business, not just self-employed, but a real business, system-driven, then what happens? Your business works without you. Take McDonald's example. Ray Kroc built such a system that could be replicated. Franchise model. Every McDonald's outlet, same quality, same taste, same service. Why? Because there's a system, processes documented, training, quality control. Rake Rock isn't physically at every outlet, but the business runs because the system is strong. This is the power of the B quadrant. You build a system, people work within the system, and the business grows, scales, even without you. Robert asked, but building such a system must be very difficult. It's difficult, but not impossible. And this is what separates the B quadrant from the S quadrant. Self-employed people are the system themselves. If they leave, the business stops. But business owners build a system that's independent of them. Start small with a one-person team, but keep the mindset of building a system. Document processes, train people, delegate, automate where possible. Gradually, your involvement will decrease. The business's independence will increase. And that's when real wealth creation starts. Rich Dad shared his journey. When I opened my first restaurant, I did everything myself. Cooking, serving, cleaning, accounts, marketing, everything. I was in the S quadrant, but I understood this isn't sustainable, so I started hiring, training, building systems, operations manual, recipe standardization, service protocols, inventory management, documented everything, trained people. Gradually, my time in the restaurant decreased and the business ran better.
Because now it didn't depend on me. There was a system, a process. Any trained person could come and operate, and then I could move toward a second restaurant, then third, fourth, multiple locations, because every location had a system, not me. Have you ever thought that the work you do, can it happen without you? If yes, you're building a system. If no, you yourself are the system. Robert was getting clarity hearing all this. So basically, the goal should be that I can replace myself in the business. Exactly. And this isn't just in business, in every area. Delegation, automation, systemization. These are all important skills for the B quadrant. Rich Dad added one more critical point. And Robert, when you're building a business, what's most important? Team, people, right people who share the vision, who are committed, skilled, reliable. I often say business is of people. Products and services come later. First, people. If you have a good team, even a mediocre idea can succeed. If you have a bad team, even a brilliant idea can fail. So invest in people, hire thoughtfully, train properly, treat them well, pay them fairly, create a positive work culture, and your team will take the business to heights. Robert noted, people first, product second. Yes, and one more thing. Continuous learning. Markets keep changing. Technology evolves. Customer preferences shift. So business owners also have to constantly learn, adapt, innovate. Can't become complacent because there's competition, disruption. Whoever doesn't adapt becomes extinct. Now, Rich Dad shifted the topic to stocks and investing. Robert, I quadrant, investor. Here, your money works. Let me explain how. When you buy stocks, you're actually becoming a small owner of the company, shareholder. The company makes profit, you get dividends. The company grows, stock price increases, capital appreciation. And the best part, you don't have to do anything. The company's employees are working, management is making decisions, and you're getting returns. But, Rich Dad warned, the stock market isn't gambling, it's investing. And investing requires education, analysis, research. Understand the company's fundamentals, business model, financials, management, competition, growth potential, valuations, everything. Don't blindly invest on tips. Don't follow what experts say on TV. Understand yourself, analysis yourself, make informed decisions. I personally prefer long-term investing. Buy and hold. Choose good companies that are fundamentally strong, have long-term growth potential, and hold years, decades.
Ignore short-term fluctuations because short-term, the market is emotional, volatile, but long-term, the market is rational. It rewards good companies. Robert asked, are mutual funds a good option? Yes, absolutely, especially for beginners, because diversification happens automatically. Professional fund managers handle it. You don't need daily tracking. Start SIP, systematic investment plan, fixed amount every month, disciplined investing. Whether the market is high or low, continue. Long term, this strategy works. Wealth gets created.
But Rich Dad emphasized, do research in mutual funds too. Look at the fund's past performance, fund manager's track record, expense ratio, holdings. Don't switch funds frequently. Have patience. Hold for at least 5 to 7 years. Then real returns show. Imagine you put 5,000 in a mutual fund SIP every month. In 30 years, at 12% return, what corpus will be built? About 1.5 crores. This is the power of consistent investing. Now, Rich Dad discussed a very important topic, financial intelligence. Robert, I've taught you a lot. Assets, liabilities, cash flow, real estate, business, investing. But behind all this, the fundamental skill is financial intelligence. And this has to be developed consciously, continuously. Financial intelligence means understanding money, understanding numbers, reading financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. All this seems boring to most people, but this is the language of money. If you want to become rich, you have to learn this language. Rich Dad explained 3 basic financial statements. First, income statement. This tells what your income is, what expenses are, what profit or loss is. Simple but powerful, because this shows whether cash flow is positive or negative. Second, balance sheet. This tells what assets you have, what liabilities are, what net worth is. This is a snapshot of your financial position. Third, cash flow statement. This tracks where cash is actually coming from, where it's going, because profit and cash flow are different things. Now, most employees don't know all this. They've never read it, wasn't taught in school, so they are financially blind. They don't know what their actual financial position is, how much debt, how many assets, whether cash flow is positive or negative. Just salary comes, expenses happen, somehow it gets managed, but they don't know where they stand financially. Robert realized, so basically financial intelligence means clearly understanding your financial position and making informed decisions. Exactly. And this skill develops with practice. Start. Make your personal financial statement. Track every month how much income came, from where, how many expenses, in which category, how many assets increased, how many liabilities decreased. Look at the numbers, analyze, understand patterns, and make decisions accordingly. And when you do business or invest, then too, read the company's financial statements. Understand numbers behind the story, because numbers don't lie. Marketing material can be glossy, presentations can be impressive, but numbers tell the truth. So develop financial intelligence. This is your biggest asset. Do you know what your exact income was this month, exact expenses, and how much was spent in which category? If not, then financial intelligence needs to be developed. Now, Rich Dad talked about obstacles. Robert, I told you how people become rich, but now I'll tell you why people don't become rich. What obstacles are there? There are 5 main obstacles.
First obstacle, fear, especially fear of losing money. People don't invest because they're scared. What if the market crashes? What if the business fails? What if the property value drops? This fear paralyzes, and people do nothing. Play it safe. Fixed deposit in the bank. Low returns, but feels safe. But understand, there's risk everywhere. Actually, the biggest risk is doing nothing because there's inflation. Money's value is decreasing every year. If you're just saving without investing, then you're actually losing money. Purchasing power is decreasing. So overcome fear. Get educated. Start small. Learn. Gain experience. Gradually, comfort will build. Confidence will build. And then you'll be able to take bigger risks. Calculated risks. The second obstacle Rich Dad explained: cynicism, negativity. This attitude that everything is a scam. All people are fraudsters. Nothing works. Stock market is gambling. Real estate is only for rich people. Business is risky. All excuses. Because deep down, there's fear, insecurity, self-doubt. So they hide behind negativity. I'm not saying blindly trust. Due diligence should be done. Research should be done. But being cynical and rejecting all opportunities, that's foolishness. Keep an open mind, see possibilities, learn, and then decide. But saying no from the start, that's stopping your own growth. Third obstacle: laziness. And this is surprising because most people are busy, always. Office, commute, family, friends, TV, social media, constantly busy. But this busyness is actually laziness because they are avoiding important things. Financial planning, learning, skill development, investment research, business ideas. They keep postponing all this because it takes effort, takes time, takes mental energy. So they stay busy in unimportant things and say, I don't have time. But actually, priorities are wrong. There's time to watch Netflix, there's time to scroll social media, but no time for financial education? This is laziness, disguised as busyness. So, be honest with yourself, set priorities, make time for important things, and be consistent. Fourth obstacle, Rich Dad explained: bad habits, especially spending habits, instant gratification. As soon as salary comes, shopping, dining out, movies, gadgets, without thinking, without planning, impulsive spending, on credit cards, on EMIs, and then the whole month struggling, payday loans, borrowed money, this vicious cycle. Or the habit of always blaming the government, boss, economy, parents, luck, never taking responsibility yourself, always victim mentality. This is also a bad habit because when you blame others, you're taking control away from yourself, becoming powerless. But when you take ownership, power comes to change, to improve, to grow. So break bad habits consciously, replace with good habits, delayed gratification, planned spending, regular investing, continuous learning, taking responsibility. These habits compound. Long term, they make a massive difference.
Fifth and last obstacle: arrogance. This attitude that I know everything, I don't need teaching, I'm an expert. This is dangerous because the financial world is constantly evolving. New products, new strategies, new technologies, new regulations. If you think you know everything, then you'll become outdated, irrelevant. I always say, when you feel you don't know anything, then educate yourself. But when you feel you know everything, then also educate yourself, because that's arrogance, and arrogance blinds. Opportunities get missed, mistakes happen, losses happen. So stay humble, keep an open mind, always have a learning attitude, no matter how much success you get. Imagine you're on your financial journey. Which of these 5 obstacles is holding you back the most? Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, arrogance? Identify and work on it. Robert was absorbing all these lessons, years of learning, Rich Dad's teachings, and now he was ready to apply them in real life. Rich Dad said, "Robert, now you know basically everything. Theory, concepts, principles. Now it's time for action. Getting started." And this is where most people get stuck. They have knowledge, but no implementation. So I'll tell you how to start. Step 1. Find a reason greater than reality, a strong reason, purpose. Why do you want to do all this? Just for money? No, deeper than that. Maybe you want financial freedom so you can spend time with family. Maybe you want to pursue your passion. Maybe you want to make a positive impact in the world. Maybe you want to create wealth for coming generations. Whatever it is, be clear, be strong, because when tough times come, and they will, this reason will push you. Robert thought about his reason: freedom, living life on his own terms, not having to listen to any boss, no financial stress. This was his driving force. Step 2. Choose daily. Every day, choose to become rich or stay poor, because every choice, even small ones, compounds. Did you go to a coffee shop this morning or make coffee at home? Did you shop today or save? Did you read a financial book today or watch Netflix? Every choice matters, so make conscious choices, intentional choices that align with your goals. Step 3. Choose friends carefully. The average income of your 5 closest friends will be approximately your income. This is a saying, but it's true. The people you spend time with, their thinking, habits, beliefs, all rub off on you. So choose friends who are supportive, growth-minded, positive, who push you to become better, not pull you down. And specifically, make rich friends, meet successful people, find mentors, because you'll learn from them, their strategies, mindset, habits. And when you see others can do it, you also believe you can do it. Step 4. Master a formula, and then learn a new one. First, become an expert in one thing. Master it, get results. Then, learn something else. Most people become jack of all trades, master of none. Tried this a bit, tried that a bit, didn't properly learn anything. No results. So stay focused. Want to learn real estate? Then learn it completely. Invest, see results. Then learn stocks or business, but one thing at a time. Deep, thorough. Step 5. Pay yourself first. I said this before, but it's so important, I'll repeat it. When salary comes, first pay yourself. Invest in assets, minimum 10%, non-negotiable. Manage expenses from the rest, and if it's tight, pressure is good, because you'll become creative, generate extra income, develop skills, grow. Step 6. Pay your brokers well. Good advisors, good accountants, good lawyers, good real estate agents, pay them well, because good professionals give good advice, bring good opportunities, save you from mistakes, save taxes. Overall, they add more value than what they charge, so don't go cheap. Choose quality. Invest in professionals. Step 7. Be an Indian giver, meaning give back more than you took. ROI, return on investment, fast. If you invested in stocks, when will the investment come back? How much return? Calculate, track, need fast recovery. Then invest that recovered amount again. Compounding. Speed matters. Velocity of money matters. Step 8. Use assets to buy luxuries. Buy luxuries, but from assets income, not from salary. This is discipline. This is delayed gratification. First, build assets. When there's enough passive income, then luxuries. And those luxuries will be guilt-free because your assets are paying, not your hard-earned salary. Step 9. Choose heroes, role models, people you admire, successful people. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, or local successful entrepreneurs. Study them, their journey, struggles, strategies, decisions, mindset, because you'll get inspired, learn, get motivation, and realize if they can do it, I can too. Step 10. Teach and you shall receive. Whatever you learn, teach it, share. Knowledge, experience, strategies.
because when you teach, you yourself understand more deeply. It becomes clear. Plus, it's karma. The universe gives back. Abundance mentality develops, not scarcity mentality, and people help you. Reciprocity. Which of these 10 steps are you already following, and which ones need to be started? Now, Rich Dad shared his personal journey, more detailed. Robert, when I started, I had nothing. Studied till 8th. Poor family, no connections. But one thing I had, hunger, desire. I didn't want to stay poor. I watched rich people and I thought, if they can do it, why can't I? So I started small, did odd jobs, saved money, read financial books in the library, free, observed rich people, how they think, how they behave, how they invest, and slowly I started applying.
Bought the first property, very small, struggled a lot for the down payment, but bought it, rented it out. There was no positive cash flow initially, it was break even. But I held on, got the right tenant, increased rent a bit, maintained the property, value appreciated. Then used that same property as collateral to buy a second property, leverage. Then third, fourth, portfolio kept growing. There were setbacks in between. Tenants gave problems, sometimes the property stayed empty, sometimes repairs were more, sometimes the market went down. But I didn't give up, learned, adjusted, improved, persisted, and eventually success came, financial freedom came. Today, I have multiple income streams, real estate, businesses, investments, and the main point, I don't have to do active work. There are systems, people, processes. I'm free. My time is mine. This is actual wealth, time freedom, choice freedom. This is what I wanted, and this is what I want you to achieve. Robert was deeply moved. So many years of learning, mentorship, and now he knew what to do. Rich Dad gave final advice. Robert, remember, school is important, education is important, but financial education is also equally important, actually more important, because school will teach you to become an employee, but financial education will teach you to become an employer, investor, financially free. So do both. School studies too, financial education too. Read books, attend seminars, meet successful people, find mentors, take courses, listen to podcasts, continuously learn, and most importantly, apply. Knowledge without action is worthless, so take action. Start small steps, but consistent steps, and eventually you'll reach where you want to reach. And when you become successful, then share, teach, help others, because that's true wealth, making an impact, touching lives, making a difference. Money's important, but money is a means, not an end. The end is freedom, contribution, legacy. Don't forget this. Robert promised, I won't forget, and I'll apply everything you've taught. Thank you, Rich Dad, for teaching so much. Rich Dad smiled. Your thank you will be when you're successful, when you're financially free, when you teach others. Then I'll feel my teaching was successful. So go and make me proud. And Robert did exactly that. He applied all the teachings. Initially, there were struggles, failures, but he persisted, learned, improved, and eventually success came. Financial success, freedom, and then he wrote this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, so people around the world could learn those lessons that Rich Dad taught him, so financial literacy could spread, so people could understand how wealth building happens. And today, this book is the #1 personal finance book. 25 years, millions of copies, dozens of languages, because the message is universal, timeless, powerful. Rich people teach their kids buy assets, not liabilities. Make money work for you, don't work for money. Build passive income streams. Invest in financial education. Take calculated risks. Think long term. And this is what the poor and middle class should also learn.
But it's not taught in schools. Parents don't know, so the cycle continues of poverty, of financial struggle.
But now you know. You've heard Rich Dad's teachings, Robert's journey, all the lessons, principles, strategies, examples. Now the decision is yours. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you just listen and forget? Or will you apply, take action, change your financial life? Imagine you start today. Small steps. Save 10% every month. Read financial books. Track your budget. Reduce debt. Build an emergency fund. Then start investing in mutual funds, SIPs. Then gradually explore real estate. Think about business ideas. Start side hustles. Create passive income streams. And be consistent, patient, disciplined. Where will you be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Completely different financial position. You'll have assets, investments, passive income, freedom, security, peace of mind. And all this is possible. Just need a decision, commitment, action. So decide today, right now, this moment, I'll change my financial life. I'll learn, apply, grow, and become financially free. This decision can change your life, exactly like Rich Dad's teachings changed Robert's life, and Robert's book changed millions of people's lives. Now it's your turn to start your journey. And remember, this journey won't be easy. Challenges will come, obstacles will come, doubts will come, fear will come. But every successful person has faced this and overcome it. You can too. Just start, persist, never give up. Rich Dad, Poor Dad's core teaching is this: get financial education, build assets, create passive income, become financially free, and then teach others. Pay it forward. This is true wealth. This is true success. This is true legacy. So your journey starts today to become financially literate, financially independent, financially free. And this journey will be life-changing, transformational, beautiful, because when you become financially free, then you're truly free for your choices, for your time, for your life. Welcome to your journey. Welcome to financial freedom. Welcome to the life you deserve. Start today, now, and never look back. Keep moving forward. Keep learning. Keep growing, because the best investment you can make is in yourself, in your financial education, in your future. This is Rich Dad, Poor Dad's ultimate message, and this is your roadmap to financial success, to financial freedom, to your dreams. Now, let's talk about what happens after you've learned all this. How do you actually implement it? Because knowledge is one thing, implementation is another. Rich Dad always emphasized, don't just be a student, be a doer. Don't just read about investing, actually invest. Don't just think about business, actually start one. Action is what separates dreamers from achievers. Robert learned this early. After all those lessons from Rich Dad, he didn't just sit back and think about it. He took action. Small actions at first. He started tracking his expenses, every penny. Where was it going? He made a budget, stuck to it. He started reading more financial books, educating himself. He looked for opportunities, real estate deals, business ideas, investment options.
His first real estate investment wasn't perfect. Actually, it was far from perfect. It was a small property in a not-so-great neighborhood. But it was affordable, and it had potential. He bought it, fixed it up, rented it out. The cash flow was barely positive. Some months it was negative because of unexpected repairs, but he held on. He learned.
He got better at property management, better at finding tenants, better at maintaining properties. And over time, that property appreciated, the neighborhood improved, rents increased, and suddenly that struggling first investment became profitable, very profitable. And that gave him the confidence and the capital to buy a second property, then a third, then more. Each one teaching him something new, each one making him better. The same with business. His first business attempt failed completely. He lost money, time, energy, but he learned valuable lessons, what not to do, how to avoid certain mistakes, how to read people better, how to manage cash flow. And his second business attempt was better, still not perfect, but better. And eventually he got it right, built a successful business that ran without him, that generated passive income. This is the reality that most people don't see. They see the successful Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author, the wealthy investor, but they don't see the failures, the struggles, the learning curve, the persistence. And that's what makes the difference. Not giving up, learning from mistakes, adjusting, improving, continuing. Rich Dad used to say, failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. And this was so true. Every successful person Robert met had stories of failure, of setbacks, of tough times. But they all had one thing in common. They didn't quit. They learned. They adapted. They persevered. So when you start your financial journey, expect challenges, expect mistakes, expect setbacks. That's normal. That's expected. Don't let that discourage you. Let it educate you. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback is feedback. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. And surround yourself with the right people. This cannot be emphasized enough. Your environment shapes you. Your peer group influences you. If you're surrounded by people who think small, who are afraid of risks, who criticize anyone trying to do something different, it's going to be very hard for you to succeed. But if you're surrounded by people who think big, who take calculated risks, who encourage and support each other, your chances of success multiply. Robert was fortunate to have Rich Dad, but not everyone has a rich dad in their life, so you have to actively seek out mentors, join groups of like-minded people, attend seminars, read books by successful people, listen to their interviews, learn from them, model their behaviors, adopt their mindsets,
And most importantly, teach others. This might seem counterintuitive. You're still learning. Why would you teach? But teaching is one of the best ways to solidify your own learning. When you explain something to someone else, you understand it better yourself. When you share what you've learned, you remember it better. When you help others succeed, you reinforce your own success patterns. Rich Dad taught Robert. Robert teaches millions through his books, and you can teach too. Maybe not millions, but teach your kids, teach your friends, teach your family. Share what you're learning. Share your journey, your struggles, your successes, because that creates a ripple effect. One person learns, teaches another, who teaches another, and gradually financial literacy spreads. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Some people criticize Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They say it's too simplistic, that it doesn't give specific enough advice, that Robert Kiyosaki's own financial history is controversial. And some of those criticisms might be valid. No book is perfect. No person is perfect. But here's what matters. Does the core message have value? And the answer is yes. The fundamental principles in this book are sound. Assets versus liabilities, cash flow, financial education, building passive income, thinking differently about money. These are timeless principles.
Whether you agree with everything Robert Kiyosaki says or not, these core concepts are valuable, and they've helped millions of people change their financial lives. So, take what's useful, apply it, leave what doesn't resonate, but don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Don't dismiss the entire message because of some criticisms. Use your own judgment, your own discernment, and create your own path. Because ultimately, your financial success is your responsibility, not rich dad's, not poor dad's, not Robert Kiyosaki's, yours. You have to make the decisions, take the actions, face the consequences, enjoy the rewards. It's your life, your money, your future. And the beautiful thing is, you have more resources available today than Robert had when he was starting. The internet, online courses, YouTube videos, podcasts, investment apps, all making financial education more accessible than ever before. You can learn about real estate investing without spending thousands on seminars. You can start investing in stocks with just a few hundred rupees. You can start an online business with minimal capital. The opportunities are there. The resources are there. The question is, will you seize them? Will you educate yourself? Will you take action? Will you persist through challenges? Will you become financially free? Because it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Thousands of people have done it from all kinds of backgrounds, with all kinds of starting points: rich, poor, middle class, educated, uneducated, young, old. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you start and that you don't stop. Rich Dad's final lesson to Robert wasn't about money. It was about mindset. He said, "The size of your success is measured by the strength of your desire, the size of your dream, and how you handle disappointment along the way." This is what separates those who achieve financial freedom from those who don't. Not intelligence, not education, not starting capital, but desire, dreams, and resilience.
So dream big, want it badly, and when disappointments come, and they will, handle them with grace. Learn from them, grow from them. Use them as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. This is the real secret to wealth. Not some magic formula, not some hidden trick, but simple, consistent, persistent action toward your goals. Robert Kiyosaki is now in his 70s, still teaching, still investing, still growing, because financial education isn't a destination, it's a journey. You never stop learning. Markets change, economies change, technologies change. You have to keep adapting, keep evolving, keep learning. And that's actually the exciting part. It never gets boring. There's always something new to learn, a new investment opportunity, a new business model, a new strategy. Financial education is a lifelong pursuit, and those who embrace that, who stay curious, who keep learning, they're the ones who thrive. So as we close this summary, remember the key lessons. You have a choice every day, every moment. Choose to think like rich dad or poor dad. Choose to build assets or accumulate liabilities. Choose to make money work for you or work for money your whole life. Choose financial education or financial ignorance. Choose action or inaction. Choose success or mediocrity. The choice is yours, and it starts today, right now, this moment. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait till you have more money. Don't wait till you're older. Don't wait till you know more. Start now with what you have, where you are, and build from there. Read this book. Read other financial books. Take courses. Find mentors. Join groups. Start investing. Start a business.
Create multiple income streams. Build assets. Reduce liabilities. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Learn from mistakes. Adjust. Improve. Grow. And years from now, when you're financially free, when you're living life on your own terms, when you have the freedom to choose how you spend your time and money, you'll look back and thank yourself for starting today, for taking that first step, for making that decision, for choosing the path of Rich Dad. Your financial freedom journey starts now. Welcome to a new chapter of your life, a chapter of growth, learning, achievement, freedom. Welcome to financial literacy. Welcome to wealth building. Welcome to your dreams becoming reality. This is Rich Dad, Poor Dad's gift to you. The knowledge, the roadmap, the inspiration. Now take it, use it, live it, and create the financial future you deserve. Because you can. You absolutely can. Just believe, learn, act, persist, and succeed. Your journey to financial freedom begins today. Are you ready?